how your presidential candidates are conducting their campaigns. So far, so good. No cases, major cases of violence. The elections are very, very peaceful, going on well. All parties have delivered their manifestos. I hope we get copies we look through so that we can learn from what they are proposing to do for this country. And we also continue praying that indeed we continue with peace so that this country does not plunge into violence because of just elections. So I want to really applaud the opposition. I want to applaud the government side and pray that we continue that way.
Honourable Speaker, you have also appreciated both sides of the aisle and our presidential candidates on the campaign so far. I want to join you also in firstly commending before I condemn. I want to first commend the persons in uniform, police and the military, to first commend, because I'm also going to condemn. Because in the previous election cycle, we would hardly get anywhere peacefully. Tear gas, beatings, killings, and so on. It was terrible. Somebody is saying COVID. COVID is not an excuse to kill people and to mete out violence, as we did see. So that level of violence, we don't see it now. That's a good thing. However, there are also areas that have got to be improved upon. A candidate X can campaign in a particular area and venue today. When the NUP candidate next week is coming to the same area and venue, police says, no, you cannot campaign here. It is in the middle of town. But there is a venue which was used by another candidate last week. Let's have equity across. We are also engaging the leadership of police. We have seen some errant police officers and security officers tearing down posters of nominated candidates, presidential candidates. That's outside of the law. Police leadership and the military, they have promised to take action. We are waiting for that action to be taken. It's not enough to promise and say we are going to take action. We are waiting to see that action taken so that nobody else violates the law. Resemblant to that, Right Honourable Speaker, we are seeing, and I'll call them errant men and women in uniform, who are breaking the law. 2 weeks ago, Senior Superintendent of Police Annabella Nyiramahoro, she's the Deputy RPC of Masaka, she used to head the police here at Parliament. She was at a campaign rally of the Honourable Haruna Kasolo, got the microphone, openly campaigned for him. That's outside of the law. Honourable Speaker, last week we saw Lieutenant General Okidi Charles. He's the commander of the UPDF Air Force. He was engaging people in his community in uniform, fully clad in his uniform, decampaigning the NUP presidential candidate, the Honourable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, while campaigning for the NRM candidate. He even got so personal to display pictures of my presidential candidate saying, you see, his children are well off, don't vote for this one, vote for the NRM candidate, fully clad in uniform, and it's all over the media. That's outside the law. Honourable Speaker, we have also seen the past few days Major General Richard Olum, better known as Major General Dick Olum, who participated in campaign festivities of the NRM flag bearer in Zombo. He was not there to ensure security. Got onto the stage, he was dancing with other NRM leaders to their chants and campaigns and so on. Look, soldiers vote, but for them to participate in campaigns is outside the law, Right Honourable Speaker. These laws are made here. Section 16, and I want to quote it for us verbatim, so that we observe the law that we pass here clearly. Section 16 of the Political Parties and Organizations Act, including the amended one. Let me read it briefly. Certain persons not to participate in political party or political organization activities. A member of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the Uganda Police Force, the Uganda Prison Service, or a public officer, or a traditional cultural leader, or a person employed in a company wholly owned by the government shall not, C, speak in public or publish anything involving matters of political party or organization controversy. D, shall not engage in canvassing in support of a political party or organization or a candidate standing for political election sponsored by a political party or organization. That's the law which we made here. We want to hear from government. Do you choose to implement another law out there? Is this given a green light by government? The Minister of Justice is here. The Attorney General is here. The Minister of State for Internal Affairs is here. Right Honorable Lumumba is here. I'm sure she's leading the government bench. Government should tell us, because we pass these laws here. How is it that out there it's a different situation operating and action is taken, not taken? Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, in the same regard, I've got two letters here which I'm going to table and government can deny or agree to them. The Chief Administrative Officer of Adjumani District Local Government wrote a letter to head teachers, both primary and secondary schools, mobilizing and participation of students, pupils during the visit of His Excellency the President on Monday, 20th October. As you may be aware, the President of the Republic is already in West Nile for his campaign tour, and he will be in Adjumani District on Monday, 20th, at Paridi Stadium, starting at 8. The purpose of this letter is to authorize you to mobilize students, pupils in your various schools to participate and attend the rally. Signed by Ochen James Andrew, the Chief Administrative Officer. There's been a public outcry, and so he's written another letter as if to rescind, because some folks were saying it is fake. He's written another one saying, refer to my letter dated 17th, 2025, authorizing you to mobilize students, pupils in your various schools to participate and attend the rally of the President. I am sorry to inform you that due to the ongoing examinations for candidates and other class activities, we have resolved to allow the learners continue with the learning and examinations without interruption. I apologize for any inconvenience caused. This is Ochen James Andrew, the Chief Administrative Officer, and I'm tabling them. I would like government to be on record here and say that these are fake letters. You see, it is problematic that now we are getting involved, young people, pupils, students, getting them from school, come and attend a rally as if forcibly. That's wrong. That's outside of the law. It is even illegal to order head teachers to do this. Honorable Speaker, now that we are in this campaign season, you're commending us for operating well. We want these loopholes to be addressed as quickly as possible so that there is a leveled ground, so that everybody is following the law. When you are in uniform, you are duty-bound, first and foremost, because you are a keeper of the law. Why do these people keep breaking the law? I hope that government can respond to these issues. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Allow me to put on record that I've been authorized by the Minister for General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister, who is standing in from the Prime Minister today, to respond to these matters because they are directly in our docket. Allow me to join you in conveying condolences to the family of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. The President of Uganda has already made an elaborate statement, and as you know, Raila Odinga has been not only a global figure, but a Pan-Africanist and a believer in the integration of East Africa. Those of you who were here in the previous parliaments remember two bodies, one known as the Great Lakes Parliamentary Forum on Peace, Amani Forum, and then the Parliamentary Network on the World Bank. The late Raila Odinga was a key promoter of those bodies. Some of us knew him personally, and we know his contribution. We thank you for putting on record the condolences of the August House. Now, returning to the issue of the conduct of the security forces, obviously, the Right Honourable Leader of Opposition will never miss an opportunity to campaign, and he has used this platform to campaign. So we will, first of all, take his statement in the spirit of a campaign. Now, point of order.
Right Honourable Speaker, I am appalled that the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, whose docket is critical regarding the issues that have raised matters of law, matters of breakage of the law, that we are raising here in Parliament, where we are privileged to do so, to have matters on record, to get to be addressed. His insinuation is that we are campaigning. For your information, campaigns are happening out there at rallies, not here on the floor of Parliament. Is he in order to find an exculpation to the critical issues I've raised by saying this is campaign, as opposed to raising responses to the critical matters of the law which are being broken by men and women in uniform, against whom you should be taking action, as opposed to wrapping it up and saying, no, let me defend these people to say the leader of opposition is just campaigning. Is he in order, Honourable Speaker?
Thank you. Colleagues, I had already commended you both for the peace on the streets. Let's extend it on the floor. Okay? Yes. Let's extend it on the floor so that we limit ourselves to the issues. Anything outside the issues, we avoid. Yeah. Honourable Minister, continue.
This is the first time anyone has ever apologized for campaigning. Mr. Speaker, sir, the UPDF has a code of conduct, and it is binding because the UPDF, they take an oath. I am from a military family. My father was from the military. I have two brothers in the military, one of whom lost his ears, and another one sustained a lot of injuries. I have children who are going to join. The military is a very important institution. Now, the question is the conduct being talked about by the leader of opposition the rule rather than the exception? We have thousands and thousands of officers, men and women in the UPDF. The Right Honourable Leader of Opposition is a lawyer. Lawyers believe in evidence. I have been authorized to request for more evidence, hard evidence, so that this matter is investigated and action will be taken, because the laws are not negotiable. I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm only here to say, let us deal with this matter as seriously as you have said they are. If these matters are really serious, bring the serious evidence and serious action will be taken against those officers.
Honourable Minister, you see, the rope, from my understanding, had not taken it to that level. He said, let us fix these small loopholes so that we can have a complete process where we don't have issues. So I think what is important is for us to commit, okay, that if there are cases of that nature, they won't happen. Again, very, very easy. Okay? That's said we fix these loopholes.
Okay, I had thought it had escalated so much. Now that this is still at a low intensity level, we undertake, and I have the support of the Office of the Prime Minister to ensure that these partisan postures stop and that they are addressed. This is an undertaking on my behalf so that the peace continues. Now, concerning the letters, obviously that one is even more serious because we have got the public service standing orders, which actually requires public servants not to be partisan. And I have also seen the social media. I do believe that our duty as government is to forward this matter to the head of service, the head of the public service to take the necessary action. Of course, the action will involve also investigating it further, and if the officer is found culpable, subjecting him to disciplinary proceedings. I personally would not think that he is in order to mobilize for a political party rally. But it is not for me to deal with it, it's for the head of service. So we undertake, Mr. Speaker, to refer this matter, which has been raised by the leader of opposition, to the head of the public service to take action. I thank you.
That the executive seems to be hiding behind us, behind our curtains. Why? Because I'm conversant the Constitution would not allow us privately, as Parliament, to bring any motion that has that touches the past. Now, when they meet the ministers tell them that the key lies with Parliament. Now, isn't this intended to make us look ugly in the eyes of the public? When they bring the petition, we debate it. Why don't we just ask the executive to tell us, to give us the budget, and we find that money? Simply. Otherwise, we are going to look ugly and answer for some other people's offenses.
Thank you. Yeah, I know the limitation is under Article 93 of the Constitution, limitations on matters of financial implication, but then that would be maybe one of the recommendations, okay, from the committee, that government, please do whatever you did in the budget and look for the money, okay? So, because when the teachers refer a petition to you, under Rule 31, the Speaker could refer it to the Minister, could refer it to the committee, but the teachers requested that they want the committee to dig deep. So this was a committee on its own, and that's what the teachers wanted. So what we did is what they wanted. And then their recommendations are what we shall refer to the executive for further action. And I hope we can do that within the time the Speaker provided.
Lwakwata tufunye debate emala. Review gye baleeta mu nkola ennungi mu democracy omulungi yandibadde yamba nakendeeza. Amagye abajaasi mu parliament emyaka 10 tebalina kye bateeseza amagye. Teboogera tebabeeramu. Ebbanga lyemaze mu parliament musiko wa kaadi abajaasi basinga obutabako bye boogera. Ate amagye ge bakiikirira gatuula ebizibu galina ffe tubyogera. Naye ne mu kukuba akalulu mu parliament bayikubira NRM. Nali nasaba speaker nensaba tukole motion review no yandize ngebawe teeka ti abajaasi batano batula ku opposition, abajaasi batano batula ku side ya NRM. Kubanga tibalina kibiina. Balonda abatano nga balondera ku side yaffe, abatano balondera ku side eriwa eri. Ekyokubiri, ba youth mubatunulire mbalabe. Luli mujjukira akalulu akawedde mwalimu omwana watu Mukunde galana ne wa Major Bright Lwamirama youth ne beekuba n'amasasi gano gaveeyo. Naye bakola emyaka 5 bava kasita bamala okuwangula ebyabwe bebikola ki webikoma. Parliament eno erina abantu b'emitendera gye bwagerako egyo gye batu reviewinga nga bayitamu nga ne bawangula constituencies ne districts nga balema. Uganda erina okusala ku parliament. Amagye mbamuga nti mwali mulwanyisa democracy mugajja mukulwana mugamba gatereera gakyakola ki mu parliament ate ge gasinga omusaala omunene mu parliament. Ekyo kitandikira ku commander in chief bw'aba alese amagye gakola ebyo byagaagala era bwe gajja okukola. Naye ekyo nakyo kiddera ku mujasinga Ssenyonyi kubanga obudde bw'okujja mu uniform gye buli. Mugisha muntu yali ajambala tagiriimu. Erweru ebyale kaswese mbimanyi. Esaawa eno ku myaka emito gy'ayina takyali muki combat yagikola ki yagivaamu. Omuntu yenna alina super mining oli mujaasi. Weewala okozesebwa n'okulooza nti okolera Museveni ebimusanyusa kubanga oyambadde combat ojja kukunamira mu bantu. It goes directed to the commander in chief because one of the institutions he praises himself about mainly is the army. If you don't take control of the army, and they come out to campaign for you, it's you, the commander-in-chief, to come out first to blame that kind of vice. However, the soldiers who are carrying out policy might think they are pleasing somebody, but at the end of the day, they will resemble Mugisha Muntu and General, because there is time to be in a combat and time to remove it. Once you take it off, you automatically become the same as Seun. However, the public will review again by bringing flashbacks of what you did while you were serving as a soldier. I remember there is a former spokesperson of the army who died.